There's something about the quiet ones, isn't there? The ones who linger in the shadows, unassuming, intense, always watching. Severus Snape was one of those. The kind of wizard who didn't need to boast because his power spoke for itself. If you were paying attention, you'd notice the way magic bent around him, not just used by him, but shaped by him, literally. Because Snape wasn't just a skilled practitioner of magic, he was a creator. Spell invention is one of the rarest and riskiest feats in the magical world. It's not simply about waving a wand and hoping for something new. It demands a precise understanding of magical theory, a deep instinct for language, and often a willingness to push into moral gray zones most others fear to touch. And it was as a teenager, buried beneath layers of bitterness, ambition, and brilliance, that Snape began forging spells of his own. Some were subtle, some were deadly. All were uniquely his. It all started when Harry, freshly enrolled in Professor Slughorn's potions class, realized he was bookless. Slughorn pointed him toward a cupboard of spares, and in an unassuming moment, Harry's hand fell on a copy of Advanced Potion Making that would shape much of his 6th year. This wasn't just any old textbook. It was scribbled full of alternate instructions and mysterious spells. The inside cover bore an ominous inscription. This book is the property of the Half-Blood Prince. With the prince's annotated advice, Harry soared in potions, dazzling Slughorn and gaining the upper hand in class. It was like having a private tutor or a cheat sheet right in his bag. But it wasn't just enhanced potion recipes that filled those pages. The book was a treasure trove of unconventional magic, including spells Harry had never seen before. First, Sectumsempra. Among the many annotations in that book was a spell with no explanation, no warning, just a name, Sectumsempra. Latin scholars might recognize the roots, sectus, cut, and sempre, always. Together, they point to something that slices and keeps slicing. When Harry, in a moment of panic and recklessness, cast Sectumsempra on Draco Malfoy, the true nature of the spell revealed itself. Deep, slashing wounds that appeared out of nowhere, as if the victim had been attacked by an invisible blade. It was horrifying, fast, and nearly fatal. Victims are often incapacitated within moments. What makes Sectumsempra unique isn't just its viciousness. It's the way it bypasses traditional magical defenses. Protego, the shield charm, often can't block it. It's invasive, like it was meant to hurt in the most intimate and surprising way. It's no surprise Harry thought it was just another combat charm, until he saw what it actually did. When he later attempted to use it on Snape, the response was chilling. "You dare use my own spells against me, Potter?" That line wasn't just indignation. It was a reminder. Snape's magic was personal, designed by him, for him. Needless to say, Snape neutralized the spell with ease. During the Battle of the Seven Potters, Snape attempted to target a Death Eater with the same spell, but misfired, hitting George Weasley instead, who, by its effect, lost an ear. Sadly, cursed wounds like that couldn't be healed. Even magical remedies fell short, and unfortunately, the counter-curse was not known to the Order of the Phoenix by then. And if Sectumsempra was Snape's blade, he also crafted a way to dull its edge. 2. Vulnera Sanentur. To wield a weapon like Sectumsempra responsibly, if that's even possible, you'd need a way to undo its damage. Snape, ever meticulous, developed one. He devised a healing spell, Vulnera Sanentur. Its roots are Latin as well, Vulnera, wounds, and Sanentur. May they be healed. The incantation must be repeated in a specific rhythm, almost like a chant. The first recitation slows bleeding, the second begins to knit flesh, and the third seals the injury completely. Herb-based treatments like dittany help regenerate skin afterward. This wasn't a casual healing charm. It required intent, attention, and practice. When Snape knelt beside Malfoy and used this spell to undo what Harry had done, it wasn't just a teacher tending to a student. It was the inventor repairing the damage caused by someone misusing his work. Magic, for Snape, wasn't abstract. It had weight, and he carried that weight with brutal precision. Third, Levicorpus. Not every spell Snape crafted was born from darkness or desperation. Some were made in mockery, Levicorpus. The Latin origin is clear, levare, to lift, and corpus, body. This spell was essentially a prank. Cast non-verbally, it would hoist someone into the air by their ankle, leaving them dangling upside down in a most undignified fashion. The spell became a sensation during Snape's school years, spreading rapidly among students like wildfire. The irony, of course, is that most of them had no idea who came up with it. But the Marauders definitely knew. As Sirius once said, that Snape knew more curses when he arrived at school than half the kids in 7th year. And James Potter certainly did too. He used it against Snape during one of their crueler bullying episodes. Snape, the spell's creator, turned into its victim. There's something bitterly poetic in that. 4. Liberacorpus. Snape never left his spells without an escape route. Liberacorpus, liberare, to free, and again, corpus, body. This spell was the counterspell to Levicorpus, designed to drop the victim, sometimes gently, sometimes not. It speaks to Snape's preference for control. For every force, a balance. For every restraint, a release. And maybe, just maybe, that mirrored how he saw himself. Always trapped in conflict, always looking for a way out, yet never quite finding it. 5. Muffliato. Not all of Snape's inventions were meant for dueling. He understood the value of discretion, of silence in a world full of eavesdroppers. Muffliato is a clever charm that fills the ears of nearby listeners with a soft buzzing sound, blocking out private conversations. In a place like Hogwarts, where gossip spreads faster than owl post, this charm was practically a necessity. Harry and Hermione both made frequent use of it. Years after its invention, Professor Flitwick included it in his curriculum by the late 80s. But when Harry discovered it in the Half-Blood Prince's book, it was still a hidden gem. One more example of how far ahead Snape was, even as a student. 6. Langlock. Some spells don't need to hurt to be powerful. Langlock, another subtle gem of Snape's, magically glues the target's tongue to the roof of their mouth. It's a clean, effective way to shut someone up, especially useful in duels to silence a caster before they can utter a spell, or say, when dealing with an overly chatty poltergeist. Harry used it to great effect on Peeves, and even more amusingly, on Argus Filch. It was one of those spells that became oddly beloved, proof that even in the murk of Snape's darker tendencies, there was room for clever mischief. 7. The Toenail Growing Hex. And then there's the oddball of the bunch. This hex, buried among the more practical or deadly spells, simply caused the target's toenails to grow rapidly and uncontrollably. Its purpose? possibly just amusement, or maybe discomfort, or maybe it was a prototype, an early attempt at curse crafting that never quite matured. Though it's one of Snape's lighter spells, it still had its uses. As it was said in the book, Harry had already attempted a few of the prince's self-invented spells, and among them there had been a hex that caused toenails to grow alarmingly fast. He tried it on Crabbe, and it worked like a charm. Spell creation is no easy task. It's impressive that Severus Snape, while still a student, was able to invent so many. Some of his spells became widely used, though few knew he was the one who created them. And that's the irony of Severus Snape. For all his secrecy, his legacy is written into the very fabric of the magical world. Whether they know it or not, witches and wizards everywhere still echo his incantations. His voice lives on through the spells he spoke first, quietly, alone, and brilliantly. Snape died young, just 38, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance, sacrifice, and hidden talent. The Half-Blood Prince wasn't just a clever nickname. It was a sign of a mind unlike any other. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to Fiction Files, and I'll see you soon.